Greetings, Java hipsters. I want to start off this section with a little overview of what we're going to cover here. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at what JHipster is and why you might want to use it. In subsequent lessons, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper and explain the problem that we face today as developers when we're building traditional web applications. After we go through the problems we face, it's going to make a lot more sense on why we are introducing you to JHipster. So let's begin by answering this question. What is JHipster? Now, you're probably going to be familiar with some of the technologies we talk about in this course, but you don't need to know them all. We're going to introduce a number of projects, and we don't expect you to be an expert in all of them or even proficient in some. So let's start out with Yeoman. Yeoman is basically a generator that can scaffold out projects for you. And there are a bunch of different generators that you can install into Yeoman. Things like angular.js or Bootstrap, or even, in our case, JHipster. This is going to make a lot more sense when we get into the next section and actually install Yeoman and install the generator. But for now, just think of it as a way to scaffold out your project. So now that we have Yeoman, now we need to go ahead and add on our backend or server-side technology. And in the Java world, I can't think of a better one than Spring Boot. So taking this course, you should be a little bit familiar with Spring Boot. Spring Boot is going to allow us to really take advantage of the Spring framework and kind of make everything that goes into developing Spring applications very easy. Then what we're going to do is we're going to have some kind of front-end technology, and we're going to use angular.js for this. And we're using angular.js because it's one of the most popular frameworks out there, and it's great for building modern front-end expressive applications. So now that we have our generator to scaffold out our project, we have our back end using Spring Boot, and we have our front end using AngularJS. That is what a JHipster project really is at the end of the day. So why JHipster? We know all of those technologies there. We could just go off and build our own application using those technologies, but JHipster is really going to make it easier for us. So why is JHipster so good? So first off, it's open source and it's free. It's open source to you, and it's not one of these projects that are just sitting around collecting dust. It is a popular open source project, and at the time of this recording, last month alone, there were 18,000 downloads of the project from NPM. So that's pretty cool. There's over 5,000 stars on the GitHub repo and over 240 contributors. So that's a very big plus in my mind. Developer productivity. So these websites should be delivered fast. Waiting 1 minute for your application to, and I'm air quoting here, deploy is really not acceptable anymore. We need the right tools for the job. And as we go through this course, you're going to see that JHipster gives that all to us. So production-ready software. Modern websites should be able to handle huge numbers of concurrent users, all using massive RESTful applications which are going to hit your backend servers hard. We need robust, scalable, high-performance servers. And a high-performance and robust Java stack on the server side is exactly what we're going to get with Spring Boot. And production-ready software, we get logging and metrics right out of the box, so we can take advantage of those right away. We also should have a modern web application, a beautiful front end with the latest HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript frameworks, a robust and high-quality back end with the latest Java caching data access technologies, and all of these wired up with security and performance in mind. So we're going to get that out of JHipster as well. And finally, we want to focus on business logic and not boilerplate code. We want to spend time serving our customers and writing business logic that is specific to their needs. We don't want to spend all this time writing stuff that is basically the same for every application that we're going to write. We really want to focus in on the needs of our customer, and JHipster is going to allow us to do that. And so as we go through this section, you're going to see how we used to build traditional web applications and really where JHipster comes in and saves the day for us. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to the next lesson.